Hello, thank you for taking some time to view this video. I'm Travis Miller with Last Dragon Digital Marketing. So the point of this video is twofold. One is to give you some tips and tricks you could use on your website to increase your online traffic, your revenue, your leads in the Cleveland, Ohio area. It also is to compare your website to a top competitor's website in that area and see if those tips and tricks could outrank them, get you on the first page of Google in front of the eyes of more consumers. So I'll talk about three things: content, backlinks, and citations. Whatever I talk about here, you could definitely use on your own for your website, but if you want to talk about that or anything further, please feel free to reach out. Either way, if you leave me a few lines of feedback on this actual video, that helps me get better at making these videos. All right, so let's get started here. So in content, you need anywhere between 1,500 to 2,000 words on your homepage. That's just depending on the competition and number of keywords needed. So a keyword is anything that someone might type into Google looking for a particular service or product. So in your content, you can place keywords throughout to tell Google exactly what terms you want your website to be found for. So as we scroll down here, got a nice laid out website, but there's some things you do on the back end, like your services there. But you could do some things on the back end to increase your searchability on Google in all of these areas as well, but we'll focus on Cleveland, Ohio. So speaking of Google, if I lived in Cleveland, Ohio, and I want to find plumbing services, I might type this in. And here's what comes up. So ads come up here, they're hit or miss. They're a good investment if you haven't invested in them, but a lot of times consumers skip over those. And sometimes they go to the map pack here, this is citations. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But we call these organics here. So we feel this is the most important with searchability on Google. So the goal is to be on the first page of any kind of service you provide or area you provide for. And we don't really typically count directories like Angie's List, Yelp, because local consumers, they're going to go to a local business for a service, especially if it's an emergency. So as we scroll down here, you could see your website's not on the first page, but there's some things you could do to get on that first page. You might have heard this saying, a great place to hide a dead body. It's on page 2 or 3 of Google. People just don't click here to search for more services. So I'll compare your website to, obviously the goal is to be at the top, but we could do some things that quickly outrank this competitor here who's on the first page. On WyattWorks, I'll compare your website to his. If we could beat him, we'll be above him on this first page, and that'll lead you to more traffic. So to do a comparison of websites, there's a tool we use called Ahrefs, and here's your URL right here that gives us some numbers. So on your website, you're using 148 keywords. As I was saying, that's something you want to increase on your website. So keep all the ones you have, definitely, but you want to have high search volume, higher volume, the better. So think about all the buyer intent keywords, plumbing services, plumbing repair, all the areas you provide for, Cleveland, East Lake. You get very creative in increasing your keywords. So the more keywords you have with high volume, the more searchability you have on Google. So comparing that to your local competitor, and here's WyattWorks Plumbing, I pop in website too. They do a good job, but they're definitely beatable. You could do some things that outrank them for sure on Google. So here's their URL, here's their numbers. So they're using quite a few more keywords than you. So that's why they're being ranked higher in Google. They have 487. But here's the great thing about keywords. You could take a website, look at what they have. For instance, like Plumbing Cleveland, if that's not on your website, you could very easily instill that in your website. Cleveland, Ohio plumbers, if that's not on your website, you could put that in your website. So you could take what they have that applies to you, and that gives you closer to outranking them on Google. And then we'll go back to your numbers. So the second thing is backlinks. So a backlink is anywhere where your website is linked to another website. These links act like an endorsement of your website from others, and Google uses that to build trust in your business by seeing others vouch for you. Also think of it as like a popularity contest. The person with the most backlinks wins. But keeping this in mind, not all backlinks are created equal. So it's important to have other plumbing services, HVAC services, electrical linking back to you. It doesn't give you that trust power with Google to have other services outside your industry, like a restaurant or a doctor's office linking back to you. So you have a good start here. You have 570 backlinks with 60 reference domains. But compare that to your local competitor, Wyatt. They have double the backlinks. So they have 1,000 backlinks with 309 reference domains. So the goal is to get closer to these numbers that'll increase your traffic, outrank your competitor, get you more leads on Google. And then finally, there's citations. So a citation is anywhere where your business name, your number, and your address are shown exactly on your Google business profile. Citations help you rank in this map pack here, which is extremely important for local businesses since this can generate huge amounts of revenue. Again, the goal is to be in the top 3. Sometimes there's 4 here. There's 4, but you want to be in that top 3. And much like page 2 or 3 of Google, people don't click this button for more services. So you want to be right in front of the eyes of consumers. And to do that, you include citations in directories like Yelp, Angie's List, Expertise, many more you probably heard of. Also, social media accounts are great too. So here's the idea. Your brand begins to be found by Google all over the internet. And the larger your online presence is, the more Google trusts you. So once Google sees you more often than these competitors, the more likely it is you outrank them. So once your backlinks, your citations, your content, once they all come together, you start to outgrow your competitors. And here's what you might be looking at and why that's so worth it to be in the eyes of consumers here and here. So not sure where your margins are, but I imagine that could generate some pretty decent revenue. Also, there's many more keywords you could use to generate more and more traffic and leads. So this is what I do. Created this for you to start generating those leads on your own online. But if you do find yourself wanting more to continue scaling as far as you want, just reach out. I could help you out with that, give you some more information, or I could talk about your goals, and I could do research to find out exactly what could be realistic for your business, what it might take to reach those goals. So again, if you leave me a few lines of feedback on this video, that'll help me out making these. And again, I'm Travis Miller with Last Dragon Digital Marketing. So thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. Hopefully this was informative. Much luck in your business. Have a great day.